Welcome to More Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today, we have for you the VAMP. And I'm pretty sure you've watched a bunch of reviews about this product. You've seen them all over your For You page on YouTube and other places. There's a good place to put my pen down. Here we are. And we don't lose it. And I bet you're about tired of them, huh? They're just flooded everywhere, right? Yeah, there was even a YouTuber who made a video telling people, please don't review this product the same way every time. Suppose he was just getting tired of seeing the same review over and over again. And you know, I I get wanting to see something new. But at the same time, people are going to be people. So just be aware of that one. And yeah, so I'm going to take your little comments to heart on that one. I thought about it, and I went, he is right about this, that all the reviews do seem to be about the same. So today, I'm going to do the review, but I'm going to mix it up with a size comparison because absolutely, I love doing size comparisons, and you can't stop me. I think it's one of the more fun parts about doing YouTube videos is just comparing the things' sizes. So yeah, I'm still going to do that, but I'm just, going to cover it from a blind person's perspective and also try to discuss things that I've noticed and, things that I've noticed also that people really haven't talked about much. So we're going to really work on that today, and hopefully you'll discover something new by watching this video. If you want a video where they go over all the paint details and they focus in on all the words that are going that are on this vehicle, then yeah, that's this isn't the guy for you. I'm sorry, I'm not the guy for you if you want that type of video. I'm the blind guy. I don't edit because editing for me is nigh impossible, and yeah, I just don't bother with it. I do all my videos in one take, in one shoot, and I speak my mind about what I feel about the product because I want you, as my viewer, to be able to make an educated decision on your purchasing choices out there. I want you to be educated on the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything I talk about. And I hope that this helps you in a way. And also, I hope that this helps raise awareness for the blind and the visually impaired through alternative means and methods. That's what this channel's all about. And we're not just limited to G.I. Joe Classified. We've got Lego, we've got Marvel Legends occasionally, and we've got Transformers. Well, we're all about the Transformers here. But I'd say, secondary is G.I. Joe Classified and tertiary is Lego. Uh, anyway, we're going to get to this guy, and we're going to talk about the pros and the cons, the cool things and the bad things and the ugly things about the G.I. Joe Classified series, Clutch with Vamp. And today we're not really going to talk about Clutch because I've already tried, but my videos get so long talking about Clutch as well as talking about this. So Clutch will be a separate video. That way I can take my time and I can talk about him in depth like I want to do. I am an in-depth reviewer. I really try to focus in on the details. So that's what we're doing here today. And so let's begin. Let's first off start off by talking about this this winch. Okay, so we're going to talk about the winch first because a lot of people talk about the winch, but nobody really talks about what you get with the winch. So we're gonna take the winch and we're gonna pull the string all the way out. All right, we're gonna pull it all the way out. There we go. Now we're going to do a size comparison. I've got a Cobra coil over here. I think the Cobra coil is the best for this. Cobra coil immediately fell over sideways because the Cobra coil likes falling. Come here, Cobra coil. You're a heavy guy, yeah. All right, so we're going to take the Cobra coil here, and we're going to size comparison that. Cobra coil is at the very front, is at the, its front wheel is connected with the bumper of the Vamp, and we see here that it goes off just a bit more, actually. Oh, I'm going to roll it out just a bit more. Oh, and of course, that thing always falls over. It's weird. It's got flat wheels. Like, these wheels aren't even round, but this thing just does not like standing up straight. It never has. It is a weird, wonky vehicle. That's for sure. Anyway, so that's the kind of an idea on the length. Come here. You go on this side. There we go. There. That way the people who have vision can see. Yeah, that's a long cord, okay? That's pretty good. That is really good. Let's set the Cobra Coil, we're just going to park you back over here next to the Toy Biz Sentinel. You know what, Toy Biz Sentinel, come here. You're not really keeping anything straight or sturdy. Let's take a look at Toy Biz Sentinel compared to it. Boom. All right, so can this go all the way up? Yeah, you can. You can't wrap it around the Toy Biz Sentinel's neck, but you can pull a Hoth. You can wrap it there, and it doesn't want to tighten all the way, but you can just go ahead and snap it on the around that knee joint, and you can have him just yank a Sentinel down. I think that's pretty neat, and there's actually, and I'm going to do this on another video because it's so big, but I do want to do a size comparison with the VAMP, the His Tank, and the Marvel Legends HasLab Sentinel that my roommate owns. But it's really difficult to get that thing out of where he has it stored. Now, rolling up, as I'm doing right now, I'm rolling up the winch so we could talk about something else. You want to make sure that when you're rolling it up, you use your fingertips to lead the cord back and forth, because if you have it stay in one spot, it's going to just get really bunched up in the center, and you want to just keep moving it back and forth as rolling it up. That way it evenly distributes across the barrel, and you have a nice looking cord area for your winch. Now, another part about this VAMP that I enjoy is the fact you can have the winch hook just hanging out there, but I don't advise it because there's nothing to lock the barrel down. If there was if the barrel was slightly ratcheted, even with a soft ratchet, that would be really nice. Because then you could just have the hook sitting there and you wouldn't worry about it lowering even further. But this barrel is very loose, and you can keep rolling it up, and this bumper is wide enough where the hook will just kind of hang out in the bumper. And I really think that's nice. I do also not like the fact that the hook comes off from the top of the winch. I wish you had the hook went down from below the winch. So when you rolled it all up, the hook was actually kind of popping out at the bottom of the winch instead of wanting to flop over the top. I may have to try and figure out how to get the winch out and make it at the bottom instead of at the top. That may help out with letting it just hang loose in the front. So that's an advice point I can give you. So let's go ahead and bring the Sentinel back over here. We're going to take VAMP here, and let's see if we can have the Sentinel straddle it. Can the Sentinel straddle the VAMP? Not completely, because the VAMP is just so much wider. But the Sentinel is, this is Toy Biz Sentinel, and mine's old, so he's a little weird. He's got a very, very wide stance, and there's nothing I can do about that. It's all locked up. But that is the comparison of the Sentinel and His Tank. I'm going to set the Sentinel down here on the floor so he doesn't fall over and get hurt. His arm fell off again. It's okay. Poor Sentinel. He's had a long life. That was off the shelf Sentinel. I bought that entire wave when it first came out. Anyway, so that was the winch. I thought it was really cool. So let's move on to talking about this engine compartment, because I don't really find anybody bringing up the engine. Now, this engine is difficult to remove, and my advice to you is if you feel on the right-hand side, it's the left-hand side for me because the back of the VAMP is against my chest, but if you feel on the right-hand side towards the front, there's actually a little lip there that you can put your thumb or fingernail into and pull the engine out. It's a tiny little lip, and it's just there on the edge. It's just enough to get that going, as long as you've loosened it up first. Now, negatives on this is that these ports are not blast effect compatible with any of the Transformers blast effects, so you can't put any of those really fun fiery effects in here and seem like the engine's caught on fire. I think that's a missed opportunity. I really wish that this engine had the male pegs coming into it, and then the female peg holes were down here, and that way you can put it together. So yeah, I think that the peg hole should have been in the actual vehicle itself, and the peg should have been in the engine. And that way, you take the engine off, and then you can plug some fire effects in there and make it seem like this engine's on fire. That would have been neat. Also, I don't like the fact that this is a big old blocky thing that sticks out of there with these pieces in it. I do wish that the engine didn't have so much hollowness underneath it, and it was actually a solid thing that you could just pull out, and it wasn't even attached in there. I think that would have been really nice. And that way, if we wanted to say, make this an electric vehicle, we could just be like, we take the engine out, and now we have a place for storage. I do say this is a missed opportunity, and I do hope that they fix this in the next rendition of the VAMP, because they're going to do this again. And Hasbro, please, if you're listening, take this blocky thing out of this. Give us this empty space here and just fill in the bottom of this engine a bit and just have it sit in there. It doesn't need to be it can be a little loose. It doesn't, as long as the hood's on, we're okay. At least for me, I won't mind if it's a little rattly in there. As long as the hood's down and it doesn't pop out, that's all I want. And then if I decide I don't want the engine in there, I can have this for storage, because that is a big negative on this vehicle that nobody seems to be talking about. Yeah, excuse me. Is that there's no storage in this vehicle. That is something that I found to be quite annoying. If you spin it around over here to the back, and we'll talk about this, and then we're going to get into the textures, and then we're going to get into the size comparisons and my 3D printing idea. But back here, this is at least 2 full inches of negative space inside of this that you can't get into. They could have made this back part pop open down so you could put things in there, or it could pop open up, or you could have had this entire top section pop open, or you could have a little compartment on the side pop open to put things in there, like extra heads, extra hands, some of the guns that you don't like to display. Just there's a lot of stuff that comes with these G.I. Joe action figures, and there's not a lot of places to put them, and they haven't given us a lot of places to put them. And I refuse to consider those boxes they put the accessories to be in called foot lockers. Like those are way too big. When I got my first one, we really went in depth with that, and I talked about size comparisons, and I was like, this does not work as a foot locker. It's just the wrong size. It isn't to scale. Like, it's perfect scale for a foot locker on a 7-inch figure, or even like a 9-inch figure, but not a 6-incher. No. And so that is a major negative on this, and that's why it's getting a 9.5 out of 10, is no place to put anything, and that is a missed opportunity. And also, there's a couple of other missed opportunities. So it's losing a 0.5 for missed opportunities, honestly. And we're going to talk about those in just a second. But let's get into the textures of this. So the front of this vehicle is really well done. I like these little hooks on either side that you can peel up. The moment I start talking about them, I lose where they're at, but they're one on each side. This thing reminds me a lot like if you're a person who's never seen one of these, like me, and you're not sure how to, you've lost your vision later in life, and you're not sure how to get a mental image of it, think the less advanced version of the Halo Warthog. Just consider the Halo Warthog, and then make it a little less, at least a little more modern day and less sci-fi. So it's got a big old bumper on the front that's shoved back a bit to allow that hook to be in there, and you can store some stuff on here. You can throw a couple of things into this area, because if they're big enough, they're not going to fall out. This roll cage plus the light bar there, which people keep calling this a light bar. I should call it a floodlight bar, because it's 3 floodlights in a row. And when people say light bar, I think blue and red flashers or white and blue flashers. I don't think floodlights. So floodlight bar, floodlight bar, floodlight bar. Okay. Now, over here on the sides, we've got this clear panel, I assume, that's over the lights, and I like that. I like the way it feels. I like how rough it feels. Like this thing can, somebody can come over and whack this thing with a hammer or something, and it's not going to break. It's rugged. It's industrial, and I just knocked something over. But Blind Prime, we're always knocking things over here, and so I like the way that these feel. I like the texture. It's really cool. It feels really rugged. The textures on this thing are very limited, but at the same time, that's kind of a good thing. It adds to the feel of this being a military scale vehicle. So, it's got a lot of armor plating, and on the hood, we've got a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. So we'll get over there, feeling around. There's not really much texture going on the front of this vehicle. There's some recesses cut into the hood. There's 2 of them, one right next to each other, and they got vents in there you can feel. So this is the air intake for the engine, because there's not really much of a if I could feel it, there's not really much of an air intake down there around the wench. They don't have any sort of vents going on there, so I guess this is the only air intake for the engine. Got to make sure that's clear. Now behind it, we've got a couple of things that I have no idea what they are. For one, we've got this cool box. I don't know what's up with this box, but a fun thing about this box, you can put this box on in only one way. You put it on that way, that I have it. Now flip it around, 180 degrees. Let's put it back. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Isn't that weird? Like, you can only put this on in one way. And that actually made it really nice for me because I don't have to worry, do I have everything correct? Are the words on it upside down or not? It isn't like I can see to tell, but making sure that it only fits on there in one direction, they took the guesswork out. Like, yeah, look at that. Look how well I put that on because I could only put it on in one direction and not the band. Now, the other one on the hood here is this odd thing, and I don't know what this is, and please let me know in the comments below what this is. And by the way, not enough people comment on my videos, so please, comment below. If you see something and I ask a question, don't don't feel scared. Comment. I don't mind, and if you have some criticisms, I don't mind either. Just FYI, if it goes blurry, that's just a chance for you to understand a bit more about visual impairment and how it feels to not wear glasses. That's the blurriness people with glasses deal with when they don't have glasses on. So I'm not getting rid of that. I consider that a part of the raising awareness. But this weird piece on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the hood, depending if the back of the vehicle is to your chest, is it's right there next to the box, and it has its own little pegs, and it fits in nice and tight. And it feels odd. It's a little rectangular thing. It's got a rounded bit on top. It comes down to another bit. Like, it feels like it's almost a machine gun, or maybe it's a part of the engine sticking out of the hood. I don't know. It's just weird. Now, over here on one side, on the driver's side of the vehicle, there's nothing but this little clamp thing that when this window comes down, I suppose that's what it attaches to. And that would be cool. Like, that thing stops the window from actually like banging into the metal too much. That is really neat, except there's a lot of stuff on the vehicle which stops the window from really being good. Over here we have the shovel that we can pull out that if you watch the box opening, somebody playing with. The shovel's really hard to get in and out of its spot, by the way. Just be aware of that. They did make it out of a harder plastic, which is really good, and it does fit into the hands of your Joes. Now, there's another little rubber stopper for the windshield, and if we remove both of these things off the hood, another reason why I would like there to be, like, maybe hide these connector points a bit better. I don't know if that one needs to get removed. Let's see. That one, the other side is difficult. Yeah, it needs to get removed. So let's go ahead and take these two pieces off. Come on, get off. Good grief. Come on. There it goes. Okay, so we remove both of the things from the hood, and now the window comes down, and I think that's a lot better. But it still rests evenly on each of those pieces. But if the stuff's on the hood, it's not going to rest on those two spots. So just be aware of that. Let's put the things back on the hood. Yeah, because I don't want to lose them. All right, that one went down perfectly. Now let's see if I rotated the box wrong. I did rotate the box wrong. Let's go ahead and rotate the box. There we go. Back on. And now the shovel, which is really nice. It's got some great textures to it. It's a really sharp-edged spade. Comes to a point, and it's a short-handled trencher. So this is to dig the wheels out of the vehicle if it gets stuck in the mud, or to dig a latrine. It's the latrine shovel. So it goes there, and make sure all that lines up. Cool. All right. So that's the front of the vehicle, and the wheels are all kind of the same. They say the tread's different on each, and it is a little different on each. And I didn't really care if I put it on the right direction or not. I think that it's still just awesome treads. So coming around to the side, more smooth textures going on. There's two footsteps, which is really, one is for the rear to get into the back area, and one is for the front to get into the front area, but the back area is mainly just for maintenance because there's no place to sit. Missed opportunity, but they were designing it off the original VAMP, and I suppose the original VAMP was a two-person vehicle. They have some really nice tread on those steps on the sides, and the armor doesn't really have much going on except the occasional rivet. That's about it. And then the wheel wells are really nicely done. And yeah, underneath it, we're gonna flip it up. Underneath, we've got an amazing, just simply amazing texture going on here. Look at all this fun texture. That is just glorious. That is stuff that they didn't have to sculpt in there. The bottom of this vehicle could have been plain Jane, but it wasn't. This bottom of the vehicle is just awesome. I like that giant axle. I like all the little individual rivets and stuff they put in there. There's some words for legalese, but it's good. It's good stuff. Up here, we've got the floodlight bars. There's two of them. They have this little part that connects together that's really easy to get in, and it's pretty obvious. You peel up one of these guys. We'll do the one down here because it's the easiest. On the underside of it, it's got this little mark, and these are interchangeable with each other. They didn't change the mark, so there's not lights A, B, and C, and they fit into slots A, B, and C. No, just all the lights are the same, and all the slots they fit into are the same. So interchangeable lights, really cool stuff there. The inside of this vehicle is really nice. I really enjoy it. I'm going to take out a shotgun and set it over here next to Hawk shotgun. Um, the seats in here are really well done. I love the textures. They did some wrinkling in there. These feel like really comfy seats. And that's like, wow, the GI Joe has some budget if they got comfy seats in their basic vehicles. I didn't know they did that. There's some textures down there at the floor. There's two pedals. This clutch doesn't have a clutch. Just an FYI. There's only two pedals on the driver's side. The handle does move, like people say, but you already know all that stuff. I do love all this sculpted in detail on the dashboard and stuff in there. It's really fun stuff. It's really good. What is this? Oh, that's the fire extinguisher. Which, by the way, might as well talk about that. So the fire extinguisher here, that one took me a minute to figure out. So we're going to spin this guy around. Now there's a clip in the back behind the seats underneath this like roll bar thing. And I thought it was for the gun, but it doesn't clip the gun. So I tried the fire extinguisher in that little clip, and the fire extinguisher worked pretty well. Sadly, though, the fire extinguisher doesn't have any sort of like ridges on it or anything. So if you don't clip it in right, it's just going to fall right back out. This fire extinguisher loves to fall out of that clip and roll all over the place. I suppose that's not really the best in the world, but it does fit in there. I just wish they had put some notches in it to help stabilize it a bit. The roll bar feels nice. I was surprised whenever people were talking about the floodlight stuff, and I thought it would be on this back roll bar, and I was very surprised that it was on the front roll bar. Like, well, that's odd. You'd think it'd be on the back, but and the gun's back here. Now the gun has a weird assembly, and it took me a minute to figure this out, and I had to watch a few YouTubers talk about it. And some recommend doing it different ways. Now me, I recommend, and this is the way I found that works. I put each of the ammo barrels bullets down, where the bullet is facing the back of this little shelf on the back of the guns. I thought that was for people to stand on, but it's not the right height for people to stand on. So that shelf is for the ammo cans. And there's this little X pattern underneath it. And I slid the bullets through the bottom of that X pattern and the crosshatch on the bottom. And there's a nice wide section that the bullets fit into perfectly. And they can come out the underside of it and roll up or just slightly twist. Just a slight twist that I think looks excellent and comes into the side of the gun. That's how I did it. And by listening to people talk about it online, I think that was just the best way to do it. I did it on both sides, and it works out very, very, very well. I do like these guns. I just wish they weren't made of rubber. Rubber guns do annoy me. Now, these guns are adjustable, and no one talks about that. Now, before I adjust these guns, what in the world is this piece, by the way? Please, viewers, let me know in the comments, what does this look like to you? Or if you actually know what this weird piece is that goes between the guns, tell me, because I am very, very curious about it. I don't understand it at all. And it's odd that it has a male peg underneath it when we've dealt with so many female peg things, the holes, that we don't have anything to do there. And by the way, now that I'm actually talking about that stuff, should I stop saying male and female connection for pegs and peg holes. Should I come up with a different phrase? I'm not sure if that should change or not. I'm trying to do the engineering terms, but maybe the engineering terms changed and I'm not aware of it. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about that one? So here, these guns are adjustable. You can actually pull them back and have them stamp in further back, but that's not very stable. You can't put them like that. There's 3 places to put them. The very front one is not stable at all. The middle one is pretty stable, and the rear one is less stable, but the rear one can also allow it to pick up. So that's something you can do with the rear connection that you can't do with the other ones. The rear connection makes the guns a little taller, and I like that. Now, if you want them more stable, you go for the center connection because that center one allows you to really lock them in. And but I don't like locking them in. Get out! It really locks in. So I pull it on the kind of the rear one. Did I get that right? Yeah, I got that right. So that can snap down, and now you can kind of just pick the gun up a bit. See? You can have it shoot to the sky if you want. And that's something you can do. These guns are actually very versatile. So let's go ahead and remove the guns. They have a really nice texture work on them, really well done. I think that it's very odd that the front of the barrel spins. I didn't expect that, seeing as it's a single barrel, but it does spin. So I guess they're going to use the backs of these guns for something else, or they're going to use these barrels for something else. But these are separate parts. Let's go ahead and disassemble this because I want to talk to you about the 3D printing idea I had, and it requires, pardon me, it requires getting that separated, breaking the shelf off. Let's drop the guns out. Okay, we get this piece in the center here that moves up and down and it spins around, but it's not it. This piece right here at the bottom peels off from that. Now this is where they talk about the connectivity in the world building. These pieces right here are very important. Now this piece, we're not really going to talk about this shelf piece right at this exact moment. I will bring up some missed opportunities with the shelf piece, but I want to hold that off. First off, I want to reach over here, and I was the guy who thought, okay, I have the HISS tank, and I got these fun personnel weapons, anti-personnel guns from the HISS tank. They're on their little bars, and they move around. I was like, wow, these are really fun guns. I wonder if I can put them on this. I can't. The bottom of this is really thick. It's really big. And it's a shame that they didn't do the same with this. They didn't make the top of this one really thick and big to add a very sturdy connection to. I do not like how thin that is. It's actually less than a siege port. It's a little less than that. But this gun piece won't fit in there. And that's my 3D printing idea. And this isn't a big piece. And if you can print out a piece that's got the connection point on the bottom there, and you've made the connection point at the top bigger, then you can sell that for decent money, I think. You could sell it for like $1, and I'm pretty sure people buy it, so that they can plug other weapons into it, so that you could plug this HISS personnel weapon into it. Or, now this one's fun, you can change it up even more, and actually set it up so that this can plug in. Now this one is interesting. Like, had this thing been just a smidge smaller at the rim, had the rim of this connection point, this weird little thing that looks like the bottom half of a wine glass, honestly, it's got a port at the bottom and a port at the top, but the port at the top, had it been just a little skinnier, like the actual area around it, then this HISS laser nose gun could fit on and clip onto it very well. So that's something else to consider. If you go about 3D printing, you could make one where this HISS laser can clip onto it. And honestly, I think this would look really cool. Okay, so the anti-personnel gun looks okay, but this laser cannon on the back, that's just raw right there. Okay, that is some cool stuff, and I would love to see that. It would be really neat. You could have it shooting at the sky, pew 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 pew. So maybe they'll actually do something like this for whenever they create the Cobra version of the VAMP. Maybe that's when we'll see this connector added to it. Maybe that would be really cool. But I do consider that a little bit of a missed opportunity, and to anybody who is creative enough and industrious enough, that is a way to make a little extra money on the side. Now, the other missed opportunity I have, let's put this weird piece over here. Okay, we're going to move the guns over there So they're out of the way because we're done talking about them today. I did want to also mention those bullets are really nice. Like that is really what are you shoving my elbow out of the way? Silly cat. Okay, so missed opportunity next is not that gun. Not that gun. Where is it? Where is it? Didn't I put it over here? Hmm. Ah, here it is. Okay, so we've got this big chain gun that comes with the ram cycle, and it's got a piece on the underside of it that allows an ammo can to get slotted in there, right? I was thinking, oh, cool, we can take and slide it in, right? No, no, you can't. I've tried adding a little pressure to it, doesn't work. Now it does kind of fit in the center, but there's nothing to hold it down in the center. And that is another missed opportunity. You've had these guns, Hasbro. Yeah, the team at G.I. Joe has had these big chain guns. They've had access to them. And it would be really cool to set this thing up, and plug that bit in there, and then have this chain gun sitting in the middle. I think that looks cool, okay? And I think it's a missed opportunity. So, anyone doing 3D printing, you can also make a connection piece that slots into the spot on the underside of this chain gun where that ammo barrel for heavy artillery roadblock would have slotted in. And then you can plug that into this, connector piece down here. You can plug that into that connector piece. Or you can create and print out a little slot that fits into that has a pin on the bottom of it that is very similar. Where did I put that? Here it is. Very similar. No, not you. And not you either. Good grief. Let's see. Pick all that stuff up. Where did it go? No, not you. Not you. Oh, man. Ah, here it is. Okay, so very similar to the pin on the bottom of this. Then what you do is you would put this thing, whatever had the pin on that, you would put that in the center. That would snap down, and then you could attach this gun to the top of it, and there you would have a really cool chain gun for the back of your VAMP. So those are ideas that I really hope somebody rolls with and runs with. And if you do run with it, let me know in the comments, or shoot me a message or something, and I'll be happy to talk about them if you send me one. Anyway, now let's get into the part that I know everybody enjoys, because that was the 3D, the 3D crap. I forgot the name of the 3D factory thing. 3D printing. Good grief. Anyway, let's get into the size comparisons, because I know you are all excited about that. Okay, so we've got a couple of figures here we wanted to compare the sizes to. I'm going to put this guy here, and this is Grunt with his Steel Brigade helmet on, and the top of his head standing is just above the roll bar on the vehicle. Just slightly, like the top of his head just slightly above that roll bar. So that's really cool. We're going to set this guy over here, because I've got this, I got to move a lot of things around, and it's going to get a little crazy. For another little size comparison, because honestly, he's my favorite character from Bad Batch. I do enjoy him. It's Wrecker, and Wrecker stands here, and Wrecker's head goes, pooh. His head is a little bit above it. He can almost see above it. Now, the question is, does Wrecker fit into the HISS tank? Now, let's see. We're just going to do a little comparison of size right here, because Wrecker is a big fig. He's a bigger dude. He's got a lot of armor on him. He's got that giant machete thing, and I don't know if he'll be able to actually fit into this vehicle at all. Let's see. There's your foot. Get your foot in there, man. Come on. Get your arms in. Come on. Come on now. All right. Get your squeeze. Oh. He is not wanting to go in there. Let's see. I think we can do it, though. There it goes. There it goes. Look at that. Look at that. His head does stick out a bit more, because he doesn't have those drop-down hinges that will allow him to really get in there comfy. But he is also a bigger guy, and he's a little goofy in there. But honestly, it's Wrecker. I mean, he's a goofy guy, but he's a really cool dude as well. So we'll just have Wrecker hang out inside of the this vehicle for the remainder of the video. Let's bring out our size comparison. So first off, we're going to bring out the ram cycle, and I have Flint and Lady J together on it. Now the ram cycle, we're going to back it up to the bumper. The front end of the ram cycle's tire ends at the back rim of the front tire. So this thing's just a bit more, I'd say a handspan more than the ram cycle in length. Width-wise, let's take a look at that. And yeah, no, the width is completely different. I think the ram cycle, this thing's almost as wide as the ram cycle is long. Okay, now we're going to come over here and we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe classified coil, the Cobra coil. Put the Cobra coil there. The Cobra coil is longer. Back in the Cobra coil up to the rear bumper, and the end of the Cobra coil's front wheel comes up to just beyond the edge of the front wheel for the VAMP here. This Cobra coil, you can go there. Now, for the big main event, for the thing that I'm sure all of you love watching, let's drive the tank over. Let's make sure its treads are freed. We don't want anything getting in the way of the tank making its move. Here comes the tank. Oh, I love this tank. Okay. Ah, screwed it up. Okay, just scoot you forward just a bit more because the tank's a lot wider. All right, this tank is wide, baby. Okay, here we go. Oh, still too wide. All right, there we go. There we are. Oh, back the vamp up to the edge. Not skit. So big. His tank is so big. Okay. There we are. To the bumper, and the front of the Vamp's tires go just to the end of the tread, the front of the tread. So the tread is the same length as the Vamp on the his tank. And height-wise, the oh wow, yeah, no, the his tank wins out, and that's why it's considered a large vehicle. That is definitely large vehicle energy right there. And where is my zapper? Because we are basically done with today's video. Where is it? Ah, here you are. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope these size comparisons have helped you out a lot. I'm going to do another video where I bring in different, brands and talk about those brands in size comparison with the Vamp, especially the HasLab Sentinel. So tune in for that video, but this video is done. Thank you all so much for watching, and I've been Blind Prime, and this big orange thing sleeping in the corner has been Cream the cat. If you want to see a neat trick, watch when I try to smell Cream. He doesn't like it. He's so weird. He's such a freaky cat. Alright, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.